What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with a very exciting new release from Furitek. This is the very first all-in-one motor ESC combo. So if you don't know, the ESC is basically built into the end of the motor, so it's all-in-one unit. This is going to be about $100, so it's a little bit pricey, but something that we've really wanted for a good while now. So, you know, the Fusion is so good in 10 scale. We've really been wanting something like that for these smaller trucks. My only concern is this thing looks to be massive. So we're going to unbox this, check it out. But this is the 3500 kV 2 to 3S capable version. They are supposed to have a 2500 kV 4S capable version at a later date. But they said this will fit in most like stock chassis and stuff. This one is specifically for the Ascent 18. So the first thing you're probably thinking is, man, that thing is huge. And if you're looking at just the motor or looking at it as just a motor, it is. But considering that they've fit the ESC in there, it's actually pretty impressive that they've got the ESC in the end of this thing. Taking up basically 10 millimeters is the difference between these two in length. So from this red ring here down is the ESC. That's amazing. Now this is not going to fit in a lot of like super tight comp style builds. Like I couldn't fit it in here. The motor in this hits the servo as it is. Now maybe if I rotated the transmission, I could hang it out the back, but that has a very angled skid. So then my motor, all of this would be sticking up quite a bit, you know? So you're going to have to choose what you're going to put it in wisely, but a stock-based truck like this right here, it should fit fine. I think I'm going to install it in here just to see how it fits with this servo with the rear exit wires on it. It's going to be fairly close on that, I do believe, but it should work okay. The cool thing is we will be able to get rid of all of this. This is the integrated system, so I will have to put a receiver somewhere, but I'll put a micro receiver in here that'll be tiny compared to this. So we're eliminating all of that. So, I mean, it's really, really interesting. I'm curious to see how temps will run on this being a 2-in-1. I mean, we're basically doubling temps because you're taking the temp that you would normally have from the ESC and the motor, putting them together. Maybe it will be fine. I don't know. So that's what we're going to find out. We're going to get this installed in here. It's a very simple pull things apart, bolt this in, and you're good to go. We do have this tuning adapter here. So this is like our Bluetooth module. I believe we just plug this in. They said to use this to tune it and then unplug it. Don't leave this plugged in at the moment. They are going to update the firmware to eventually where you can just leave this plugged in if you want. But to start with, we're going to plug this in, tune it, and then unplug it, and then run the truck. So we do have a power switch here. I kind of wish there was just like a plug. We could just unplug that or something. That would be cool to just get rid of that completely. I would rather it just be on all the time, honestly, but it's not a big deal. We'll find somewhere to just kind of tuck that away. And then we're going to see how this runs. So I'm going to get it installed in here. We'll go through the tuning, and then we'll take it out and run it. So I decided before I install this, I'm going to address most people's first knock on this, and that's just its size, because it does seem pretty large when you're just looking at it as a motor. But I wanted to show you it's really not much different than a lot of stuff that we're running now. I mean, this is the stock Red Cat motor out of these trucks. Counting the motor tabs, the wire tabs here, it's the same length basically, and not quite even as large in diameter as the widest part of this motor. So it's almost like swapping the exact same size motor into this truck, and you're doing away with an ESC. This is an old revolver we used to run way back before any of these motors ever existed. You can see definitely a little longer, but smaller in diameter, so not bad. These are some great motors. These pancake style motors, obviously, they take up very little room on the length, but they are very large in diameter. But I just wanted to show you guys multiple different style motors here. If you're running one of these 370 motors, this is a major upgrade. These, I don't know why we run these large of motors ever. You can see I have another one over here. They're good motors, I just don't use them because they're way too big. And you can see this is much smaller in diameter. Look at that. The length around the same, but much smaller in diameter. So definitely an upgrade over that. Stock Traxxas motor is basically the same as the Red Cat motor. So it's almost exactly the same size as that, a little bit smaller in diameter compared to the larger side of this. So it's really not that big, you know. People are looking at it and saying, man, that thing is massive. It's really not, okay? And that was kind of my first impression. Looking at it, I was like, whoa, that thing is long. But when we stop and think about it, it's comparable to any stock motor, and this includes our ESC. Pretty freaking amazing. So obviously it's not as small as some of the smallest tiny motors, I mean, that we run in these things. You can see there, quite a bit longer than that Endura motor. But compared to a lot of stuff, it's actually a pretty good size. So the second knock that people are gonna have on this is just, if the ESC goes bad, then your motor shot as well. If the motor goes bad, your ESC shot. And that is just a risk you run with something like this. All of these products can have issues and not work straight out of the package. I mean, I've had brand new Escape 32 ESCs that a lot of people love that didn't have a second of runtime on them, wouldn't run at all, smoked multiple receivers before I figured out it was just junk. I've had problems with a lot of different things. Furitek, for me, honestly, I've been able to just throw them in things and run them, you know. This Endura setup right here, I've had great luck with 2 different ones in 2 totally different trucks, and I've seen people have issues with it. So anything that's mass produced, you can have issues. That is something to consider with this. If the ESC quits, you're done for. You got to buy this entire thing again. So if that is too much for you, then yeah, you might want to look at a different system. But for me, it's not really a deal breaker for what we've got here. So I want to jump in here real quick and show you guys how you can program with just the transmitter, because if you're like me right now, the app is not updated for this. So I can't really change. I'm having issues changing things with the app because it doesn't really recognize this motor yet. So by the time you guys get this, all of that will be sorted out. But I wanted to show you how you can tune it with just this. So you're gonna have your transmitter on, truck off. You're gonna hold full throttle here. And then we're gonna turn this on and listen for a long beep from the motor. So when we turn this on, that right there. So now you'll hear 2 beeps, beep, beep. That means we're in mode 1. Our value is 1. I need to change this to counterclockwise. So to change it, I'm gonna hold throttle. Now it should beep once, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. So I accidentally changed this a while ago. So now 1, 1, 2. Okay. So to move to drag brake, we're gonna hold full reverse. Now it'll beep twice, once. 1, 2, we're in drag brake. Our value is 0. And I'm gonna leave it there. I've been running this thing like that and it's been running good. So I'm gonna leave it there. We wanna move to our voltage cutoff. It should beep 3, then 4. So we're at 3.2 volt. So you hear 1, 2, 3. That's our 3rd mode. Then it beeps 4 more times. That means we're 3.2. And then I've already changed this to 8.4 as well on the BEC. So right now we're here. We're gonna hold this, whoops. So I'm gonna hold this down. So now we're beeping 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So we're 8.4 volts. To exit the menu, you can just go through this once, and then you have to start over. You just hold down the reverse. And it's programmed the way we want it. So Now, my advice is if you get through this like I did and you realize, oh, I should have had my throttle the other way, the best thing to do sometimes if you turn this off and then try to go back into program mode by holding this and turning it on, it won't do it. Disconnect the battery, or at least make sure that power's off for 20-30 seconds or something, but usually you can just disconnect the battery and you'll be able to start right back over. My issue was I had my throttle reversed on here, so when I reversed it on this, it made me faster in reverse than I was forward. So then it also shows how to calibrate your throttle and everything, but I've been driving it like it is and I'm fine with it for now. So pretty simple way that you can tune this thing with just the transmitter. So actually Furitek got the app working before I even finished this video. I messaged them, let them know I was having issues, and they already got it taken care of. So you're just gonna plug this repeater in just like this. I did have to flip mine. I had the yellow wire on this side kind of matching up with this one, and it didn't want to connect right. So I had to flip mine. So that could be something you have to do. And then here, you pull up the app. Make sure your app is updated because you will need this update. But you can see it connected automatically. I didn't even have to select it. Voltage cutoff is at 3.2. We've got our ESC set. So all of the settings we did with just the transmitter, they did take. Here, I bumped up my max reverse to 80 now. It was on 50. So I like a little more reverse speed. So if I start to loop out, I can hit that reverse quickly and save it. And then you've got all of your normal throttle curve. And we've got a battery tab. I don't know if this is new to just this setup or if it's been here a while. I haven't been in this app for a good while because usually when I install these, I don't touch them. I don't mess with anything besides like maybe this initial change to ESC or something like that. But then I never update the systems. I just run them. So I don't know if this is completely new or if it's been here a while, but anyways, the app works very well to tune, tweak, whatever you need to do, all right here. So everything is up and running. We're ready to go rip. You'll see it's turning that servo just fine at the 6 volt, and this thing is crazy smooth like always. I don't really get any transition. I can be as smooth with this as my throttle finger can be, really. Like it will just ramp all the way up as smooth as I can be. There may be one little point here where you'll see FOC kind of kick in or out, like right there maybe, but honestly, I kind of jerked my finger a little. Right there. And honestly, with my Radiolink radio, because it is much better, I mean, these are really nice for the price. With my Radiolink, it's non-existent. So some of it's in the transmitter as well. But these things are crazy smooth. Look at that. Forward to reverse, super smooth. I was able to change that. Originally this was set forward brake reverse. So I was able to change that in the app. But I just want to show you guys this thing does crawl really well. We'll take it out and hit the course with it, obviously, but just so everybody can see, lots of wheel speed on the 3S. I am running 3S. Most of the time I am on 3S. Nice and smooth, right? So I'm gonna do a wheel speed comparison between these two. This is the Endura Purple Viper system in here. I'm not going to do a back-to-back crawling because both of these crawl really, really good. Not going to hate on this at all. It's great for the price. So I just wanted to compare wheel speed. So we're going to run the same 3S pack in both of these. This is a 180 mod. This is a 250, but they're both Galaxy 3S packs. So pretty even. Obviously not the exact same wheels and tires. I'm not changing that. It'll be close enough. But I just wanted you guys to see these trucks. We're gonna run them back to back, see what kind of wheel speed we've got between the two. Okay, we've got the Enduro on the left, Unity on the right. Almost dead up the same wheel speed. And like I said, both of these crawl really good. So a little bit about this truck. I do have this skid angled on this truck, as you can see. So I was originally running a washer underneath the transmission between this screw and the transmission to sort of level the transmission back out so that the motor wasn't tilted way down in the front, but the skid was slightly angled. And this does just fit with the longer servo in there. You can see the wires exiting on the rear of this servo actually makes it tighter, but it does get all the way up to where the servo itself is stopping on the chassis rails. So the motor is not interfering with that or the links or anything like that. And everything seems to be ready to go. So I'm gonna crawl this thing, just kind of mess around, make some simple laps around out here on the course. And then I brought my little temp gun thing just so we can kind of check the temperature on the motor ESC and see how we're looking after crawling around here for a bit. Lots of punch on 3S. Man, that thing ripped up that. I just love these little Ascents. They're so simple, so easy to make very, very good. Stock system in them, really not bad. Obviously, something like this is a major upgrade, but it's hard to complain about how good these trucks are out of the box, especially for the price. And this really doesn't have a ton that's been done to it, and it crawls really good for what it is. So when Furitek asked me which one of these motors I wanted to check out, I said, send me the one for the Ascent. And I can also put this same motor in a TRX 4M if we wanted to. The pinions are the same, so we could just swap this over to a 4M as well. That's pretty freaking steep, guys. This little truck's holding it. I don't know if it's going to get it all the way down, but look at that slow crawl. Unbelievable. And this is where it comes in handy. Let's see if that driver dropping in that hole almost looped me out. Will it save it right here? Should level me out when I start going up that. See how the rear is coming back down? Sure, that doesn't even look very steep, but it is steep. Unreal. This little truck is so good. So somewhere along in here, my mic that I was using with the dead cat on it died on me and I didn't realize it. So the audio from here on out is a little windy, but I wanted to keep the commentary because it was just a natural flow. I'm out crawling, you know, commenting on what's going on, that sort of thing. So I left it in here. I apologize for the rough audio. That is actually so much harder than what this truck just made it look. Good grief. I can't believe it did it that easy. tires are so good out here. I've heard people say these tires are not good. Y'all nuts. I do have like every other lug cut out of these in the center. But I love these tires out here running. I don't know if I've got floods in the front or if they're like some from Tony. I think they're floods in the front, Flub RC, and stocks in the rear. And these things run so good. You guys notice me twitching. I got a freaking sweat bee trying to eat me alive out here. I got a little too jumpy there. I probably could have crawled that, but got a little wild with it. I panicked. Look how good this thing freaking grips. Like these tires just hook. Swampers are just good tires in every scale though. I love them on my Chevy TF2. They just really look the part, and they're good tires. Most of this downhill is where you need that smooth transition, smooth throttle. It's just crazy smooth right now. Look at that. Jeez, I've had trucks just really struggle spinning on that, and this thing just walks up it. Look at these freaking bees out here. They're driving me nuts. Sorry guys, I'm twitching and jumping and getting stung out here, dying in the heat. It's just what I do. This thing just goes. That's why I love this thing so much. It looks so basic. I keep the stock old body on it just because it looks like it would be nothing, and it just freaking eats everything up. Look at that. I don't think I've ever tried to go up this right here. This truck is so good. Good grief. So I know I just keep talking about this truck, but obviously this motor ESC combo, the Unity, I didn't get that passenger side rear up on that. Now we're gonna have to just shimmy across it. But this combo obviously makes this truck even better. Super smooth. make a quick little transfer here. Get that right front onto that rock will be good. Right there, see? That's all we needed. I'm moving rocks. Making it look easy. See if I can keep the streak going. I have legit not tried anything more than once yet with this thing. Look at that. This thing is just balanced so well. Like you guys, people always think this course is super simple, and it does have some simple spots to it because I wanted to be able to run some stock trucks on it, but that right there is insane. Always put you into that rock. This is the hard part, getting out of there. I'm trying to walk with this and kind of leave it uncut for you guys so you can see. I'm just driving this straight through, not cutting anything out. This thing is just performing. Oh, I had to punch it though. I don't make it around this course this easy with very many trucks. Usually I've already messed up once or twice by now. I really don't know where I'm going right here. I rarely ever use this side of the course. It's just because I haven't really finished anything over here. Planning to keep going with it at some point. It's just been too hot. This little girl's showing out today. Showing off. Look how easy that is. This thing's got all kinds of punch. Full throttle, look at that. Good grief. 3S. It'll jump it. That is crazy. Tons of power. I really didn't expect that much power with that. I mean, that's got to be a tiny freaking ESC in the end of that motor. I thought I was gonna lose it right there. I have still not looped this out yet, guys. That don't happen often. I'm not that good a driver. All right, this could be it right here. Let's do it. Let's flip it. Ah! Hey, I'm still on my wheels, right? The audio on this clip was pretty much shot. The wind was terrible, so I just wanted to explain to you guys what I'm doing here. I get the truck in between these rocks up here and just kind of wiggling the steering back and forth, just trying to see how this motor and ESC would handle the servo and being in a bind a little bit. It's not terrible, but in a strain, and you can see it's moving the entire truck, no issues. Didn't have any brownouts or anything like that, and overall it ran great. And this little servo is just awesome. I mean, it's a great little servo for the price, and you can tell it doesn't struggle, rarely ever. But this ESC is unbelievable for how small it's got to be, the power that's in it. You'll see here in a second, I bend a link with the power in this thing. It's crazy. Oh, wow, look at that. Tell me that ain't some power. What did I just do? Oh my gosh. That just bent that link. What? Oh my Lord. I gotta give it to these Enduro drive shafts and the gears in this truck, because it was just gonna snap the link. Good thing I've got some Enduro high clearance links for this too. I'm gonna put those on soon. But definitely no problem getting the power out of this motor. I hadn't seen the rear axle just bow in a U shape back there. That was nuts. This thing is fast. I mean, I wonder if it's got enough power to jump this rock up here. That's a tough one. That's one thing I like about the gearing in the stock Ascent 18 here. So you've got a lot of wheel speed. So now with this system, we've got tons of control and slow crawl, but we have that wheel speed. Let's see if we can hop this. Oh, it's got the wheel speed to do it for sure. Just gotta get the right line up here. There it was. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I love this freaking truck and system. Perfect combination. Massive hole there. It's kind of cool, the weather and all the rain we were having. It's like changing the course a little bit. Things are washing out. That line was never there before that I hit earlier, and so it's just kind of like changing the course a bit. My final thoughts on this is just, it's amazing that they were able to make it happen. You know, obviously we'd probably like to see it be a little bit smaller of a motor, but at this small scale, I don't know that they can do much smaller. I mean, it's pretty insane the performance it packs for the size of the ESC that has to be in there now. So I'm very impressed with it. I'll link it in the description if you want to check it out. Look, guys, it's cool either way. I don't make a dime off of Furitek sales, so, you know, do what you want, but it is a fun system, very unique, and, you know, I'm just thrilled that we've got options. You know, Furitek just keeps pushing the bar farther and farther, and this is just the next step, the next thing in line. And I mean, they did an amazing job with it. Can't wait for you guys to check it out. I'll check the temps here and see what you think about those. I appreciate you guys watching. Peace. All right, so it's very hot out here, as you can see, and I've ran this thing until the battery is completely ran out. And it's warm, not gonna lie. It's pretty warm. That's getting very hot on my finger right there, but that's 7 or 8, 9 seconds maybe. 107.6. Just the rock there's 92. Hopefully you can see that well, but 1015 or 1015, 115, 108, 109, 113. 115 is the hottest I'm getting, so it is pretty warm. But really, I've ran this hard on 3S and not give it a break at all. Wheel speed is great. Overall, I'm very impressed with this. Unbelievable how good this thing is. Absolutely love it.